do that and staff. So that part of it went pretty good. And then I thought the players, for a lot of our players that never been in that stadium before, enjoyed it. And so for the most part, no injuries. We got through it, and it was something we needed to do.
Doug.
Hi, Herm. Just with some new faces up on the offensive line, just how comfortable do you feel with that front five at this point?
Well, I think they all have experience, which is good. And yet, as you guys know, the linemen have to play together. And that's what we're going through now. We've kind of got that figured out, what the five guys are going to be. And I think the more they play together, and it's hard because we're going against them every day defensively, and they're going to get an entirely different look from USC. So it'll be interesting when we get into the game and how we game plan them, how it looks.
Oh,
Herm, I know you said in an interview earlier today that you expect USC to run maybe somewhat of a 3-3-5 because their defensive coordinator came from Texas. I know you have a lot of newcomers at skill positions, but the fact that Jaden Daniels faced a 3-3-5 in practice every day last year, do you think that could help him in this contest? Well,
I think more than any, it's the offensive line, right? Because Jaden doesn't have to block any of those guys. but yeah, coverages are coverages. I mean, we all have the same type of coverages. It's according to what you lean on in certain situations. Are you going to become a man-to-man team? And that's kind of what we're hearing. They're going to play more man and want to pressure the quarterback. Okay. What are the coverage concepts they run? All we know is what they've done in the past. How does that look this year? And I think that's the uniqueness of playing an opening game. There's no tape on anyone right now. And so as we go through this football game and it unfolds, we're going to have to be able to adjust.
Chris Gartman.
Coach, you guys are always looking for which freshmen are going to rise to the occasion. It's not going to be too big of the moment for them when you get into games. Which freshmen kind of hit you in that respect right now?
Well, going through this now for my third year, as far as the freshmen go, we've seen a lot of them play here. 32 of them played last year. Some of them true freshmen and some of them redshirt freshmen. So I think the process of what we take them through prepares them. Now, it's nothing like game day, obviously, until they play. But I think for the most part, it won't be too big for them. I really don't. I think these young people today are more aware of competition. They've been on big stages. Kind of ironic. A lot of our kids come from Los Angeles. Some of them, first time they'll play in this stadium, but they're familiar. They're familiar with the stadium, and they're very familiar with the opponent. And so, to me, I just think it's getting through the jitters of the first 3 or 4 minutes. And that's anytime you start a season off as a football team, right? It doesn't matter at what level. It's just now we're playing a real game. It counts. We're not practicing against our guys anymore. We're playing against USC.
Michael.
Yeah, Coach, you're talking about the offensive line, but what about what did you see from the defensive line? I know, like you just said, I mean, they're just going up against the offensive line. They're going to be playing USC, but I mean, do you like the development where they're at and how they've come up to speed so far?
I do. We're a little bit more of a 4-man front now than we were last year. We still have some things we can do out of a 3-man front as well. It's just a matter of, I think, now of them playing together as a front and then us playing together as a defense. Structurally, there's some things that we've changed. And how you game plan a team like USC. I mean, this is one of the finest receiving corps that you're going to find in our conference. And then some will say even in the country. They have an established young quarterback who set a bunch of records last year. So it's a well-oiled offensive unit. And we're going to have our hands full walking into the Coliseum playing.
Jesse.
Coach, I know you don't really like to, harp on individual players, but if you were able to just, go into who, really stood out this weekend, just like in the mock game.
Whether to stand out, I thought the offense did some things that were kind of fun to watch. And I'll leave it at that, right? It was interesting to watch them. This offense is brand new, and I think this Saturday you saw signs of things to come, hopefully. So it was kind of one of those deals where I smiled. Now the defense was a little upset, and I told the team, the thing when you're the head coach, I went on either side in the mock game. If the offense plays good, then I'm an offensive coach. If the defense plays good, I'm a defensive coach. So I think it was pretty competitive, but I saw some things offensively that kind of made me smile.
Michelle.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the third year of a program is kind of a big year. It's kind of when you can start judging the direction of a program. And what is your take on where you are now with this program heading into your third year?
Well, I think we won't know until we start playing. We've added some talented players. We still have a lot of work to do at certain positions, and we know that. And it's all about recruiting. And I think when you can win, that helps you recruit. But as far as the program goes, I just think it's headed in a position now where we got to continue to recruit well at certain positions. And if we can do that, then we'll have a chance. And that is the whole mindset of the program and what we're trying to do and try to accomplish.
Christopher.
Hey, Coach, Chris from the State Press here. At the end of last week, you had said that the mock game and putting on the pads could be a pretty big transition for the younger guys in terms of physicality and stamina. After seeing the team in the mock game, how do you think they looked in terms of their physicality and stamina-wise?
I thought they actually handled it pretty good. It was kind of interesting because the way we ran it, there was an offense on one side of the field, the offensive unit, the defensive side was on the other side of the field. And it was interesting to watch, how the coaches interacted with the players. That's what I wanted to see more than anything else is signaling different personnel groups in, out, just the mechanics of running a football game. We didn't have the ability to do that due to our loss of spring football, right? We never got into that mode. So this was really the first chance we got as a coaching staff to hear what's coming out of the booth, to the sideline, getting that coordinated with the players, with the personnel. So it was fun to watch, and I think we needed to do it. It was very important that we got that in because you'd hate to not have a dress rehearsal before you play a real football game.
Chris.
But you're going to have to rely on some newcomers at running back and wide receiver this year. You mentioned a solid mock game performance from the offense. Were those guys part of that, and how so?
Absolutely. Well, you think about it, how many senior receivers do we have? We got 2, and the rest of them are freshmen. How many senior running backs do we have? 0. So you're right. They were a part of it, along with the quarterback. About the quarterback. Quarterback's pretty sharp Saturday. I told him it's about time 5 showed up. I'm always giving him grief. But, he was pretty impressive Saturday.
Doug.
Herm, Chase Lucas has kind of grown up with this program. He's a local kid, played well as a redshirt freshman. Just from the time that you've been around him, what areas do you think he's matured and grown the most?
Emotionally and fundamentally, he was a raw, talented player. He played running back, a lot of running back in high school. They moved him to the secondary and moved him to a corner, which is his spot. And I think technically now he's much better. He is much better player. And we're fortunate, when you think about the guys in the secondary, we have 4 guys that have played a lot of football. All of them have NFL aspirations. by the way. And I would be shocked if they don't all get a chance to play in the league. So they got a lot of experience, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it with the opponent we play week 1, because they're talented on the other side of it with those wide receivers and the quarterback.
Jesse.
Coach, going back to the mock game, just how hard did you all go? How long did you all play? Just kind of that
Well,
area.
the pregame warm-up, we went through that. I want to say, I'll put it this way. We got off 80 plays.
Oh.
So you can do the math. What does 80 plays look like, right? Now, I called a few timeouts just so our trainers could run on the field and display the water. I mean, we treated it like a game. They haven't done that either. So what is that going to look like? And so there was a couple timeouts I used just to make sure the trainers could come in and out and go out on the field and all those things. The coaches bring the guys to the side. I mean, we needed to do all that. And that's important.
Couple more questions for Coach. Ho.
Coach, I know you talked a little about it before as far as wanting to have the game day environment of coaches communicating between them. And obviously with having so many new faces on the staff, did that go as smooth or as you expected?
Well, I don't know if it went smoothly. We hit a couple spots, right? And you anticipate that, and that's basically why we had to do it, in my opinion. You want to work all those things out. All of a sudden, there's a different sideline demeanor with Zach. There's a different sideline demeanor all of a sudden with AP calling the signals and Marvin upstairs, right? So all the dramatics and dynamics of this have to kind of unfold, and you would hate to figure that out the first time you play. So this is why you do things like this. So for the most part, I thought it went well. This Saturday, we'll do something similar to that. We won't do it in the stadium, obviously. We'll do it on the practice field, but I think it's vital for us now that the coaches that are going to be in the booth, and the guys that are going to be on the sideline, administrate the sideline, and the communications, as you guys know, is very, very important.
And just a quick follow-up, is it already determined who's going to be on the booth on game day?
Yeah, we kind of know who's going to be in the booth. Oh, did you ask about Marvin?
Oh, no, I'm just saying in general, as far as, can you say which coaches are going to be on the booth in game day?
Yeah, we have an idea of who's going up there. There might be a slight change, but for the most part, Zach right now is going to be downstairs. It looks like to me, and I think Marvin's going to be upstairs. As far as coordinators go, AP will be on the field with the signal caller. He can bring the group up. He's also the defensive coordinator, so there should be some good work done there. Zach obviously is a former quarterback, and him being on the field now, he can get the change as soon as the play is over, and that's important to always visit with the quarterback when the series is done.
Michelle.
Coach, do you think it might be an advantage for you guys playing USC right out of the box, because they're not going to have past game film to go on, and obviously game planning against your offense is going to be different?
Well, they're probably looking at Boise State film, right? So you got a lot of that. We're looking at Texas, by the way. So we're looking at different teams, and we're going, okay, are they going to do some of this? We all, we're coaches. We kind of get it. Okay, is he going to bring some of this over there, and what he's going to do over there? And we don't know. No one knows. It's going to be the first game. That's what's so unique about it. You sit there and you go, it's the first game in a situation where there's going to be no fans. That was interesting in the stadium with no fans, right? And the crowd noise, the ambiance noise, we had that going. So the officials were out there. The officials officiated it like a real game. And so that was fun. The officials were happy that they got to go do a mock game, right? They were like, Coach, we appreciate it. I said, I appreciate you guys too, right? So all of a sudden there was a lot of kumbaya, coaches and officials. They were just glad we were doing it so they could get ready.
All right, last question, Talia.
Was that, sorry, I think I was muted. Moving into your next mock game day, what is one thing you want to implement or change based on this past Saturday?
The efficiency of it. We have to be more efficient and more detailed, and it will be, because now all of a sudden we won't have 110 players. We're going to have I guess 70 guys will probably go to USC. It looks like right now somewhere in that facility, and run it in a way where it's we're more efficient. There's a lot of things that need to be tied up, and the efficiency of the sideline communication, whether it be through the coordinators, through me as a head coach. Situational football is critical. You see that every game you watch. There's situations you look at and you go, okay, how would we handle that? What would we do here or that? You guys know I'm big on situations. We always present those to our players. There'll be a couple situations I'll show them tomorrow, actually. Some in pro football, some in college football, about how we would handle this. And so I think those are big. And timeout usage, score, clock, all those little things are important. And we need to do a little bit more of that this Saturday, so the players are accustomed, and the quarterback, especially when he's playing offense, the situation defensively, what are we trying to do? Trying to get the ball back, all these things become a factor.
Thank you.